Now, India and France are set to hold their biggest aerial war games at the end of this month. Now, these war games will be featuring India's Sukhoi fighter jets. The Indian fighter jets will be pitted against France's Rafale fighter aircraft. The Indian and French air forces will carry out a 2-week-long mega air exercise beginning July. The 6th edition of the Garuda exercise brings countries to validate the latest defense strategies of the two countries. The drill is also an opportunity to fine-tune their war-waging capabilities. The first edition of Garuda exercise took place in 2003 at the Madhya Pradesh's Gwalior Air Force Station. The exercises have been conducted alternately in the two countries ever since. The last edition was held at the Jodhpur Air Force Station in 2014. Now, this year, along with the Sukhoi Su-30 MKI, India will also be deploying the IL-78 tanker aircraft and the Ilyushin IL-76 airborne warning and control system aircraft. Now, more than 150 IAF officers and airmen will also take part in the air exercise. The Bareilly-based 24 Squadron Hawks is expected to represent India. The Indian contingent will get a chance to have a close look at the Rafale jets. Remember, the Rafale jets are going to be inducted into the Indian Air Force from September this year. In 2016, India signed a 58,000 crore rupee deal with France to buy 36 Rafale fighter jets. The first squadron would be based in Ambala, while the second one would go to Hashimara on the China border. The latest air exercise comes just 2 months after the two countries carried out a naval warfare exercise in the Arabian Sea as well as in Djibouti. Now, this was under the Varuna series of war games. India and France signed an agreement for joint military exercises between the armed forces of the two countries in the year 1998. Now, under this agreement, both the Army and Navy take part in drills. Right, moving on, 3 days ago, a military plane went missing. It was an AN-32 aircraft of the Indian Air Force. A search operation is on now for the 4th straight day, but there are no leads yet. Now, the plane took off from Jorhat in Assam on Monday afternoon. It was headed for the Mechuka Advanced Landing Ground in Arunachal Pradesh near the China border. Somewhere along the way, the plane went missing. It lost contact with the ground control at 1 p.m. 13 people were on board, 8 crew members and 5 armed forces personnel. A massive effort is underway to locate the missing aircraft. A team of 13 Air Force personnel is working overtime to locate it. Spy planes and satellites have been pressed into action as well. Helicopters and ground patrol units have been deployed too. Now, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is being briefed about the situation on a regular basis. So why is it taking so much time? What are the challenges before the search and rescue team? Well, the biggest one is the difficult terrain. Earlier in the day, we spoke to retired Air Marshal Anil Chopra, someone who has flown the AN-32. Listen in.
I have done extensive amount of flying in this area. I've had 2 postings in the east. I've also flown the AN-32 aircraft. And the search and rescue in the thick jungles of Arunachal is a very, very complex exercise. And we have known this for last 60 to 70 years. Air maintenance is required because the army has to be maintained, and therefore there has to be continuous flying by transport aircraft and helicopters in the area. Now, as you just mentioned, the ravines are very steep, the trees are very tall, the vegetation is very thick. If somebody was to walk through this jungle, it may take about 1 hour to cross just 100 meters. That is the kind of thickness of the jungle that is over there.
All right, let's now tell you a bit about the plane itself. Now, the AN-32 was created especially for India by the erstwhile Soviet Union. It was inducted into service in 1986. The AN-32 is a workhorse of the Indian Defence Forces, but the plane is not future-proof. It will have to be eventually replaced. For now, though, the plane is being used with the necessary upgrades. The AN-32 was built near Kiev in Ukraine. After the breakup of the Soviet Union, India continued to purchase the necessary equipment from Ukraine, but the upgrades have been slow thanks to the slow procurement procedures and India's bureaucratic delays. We spoke to retired Air Marshal Anil Nirdosh Tyagi, correct me, about this. Take a listen.
For search and rescue, the important equipment is your emergency locator transmitter. And what I've read in media reports that ELT on this aircraft was old generation, and they haven't been able to pick signals and to adequate to home on to the wreckage. Now, this appears to be something related to vintage of equipment. AN-32s were being upgraded and modified for the last maybe 10 years or so. The contract was with Ukraine, and it ran into a problem because of Russia-Ukraine issues, which you're well aware of. And only about half the fleet has been updated so far. And as far as the media reports go, this aircraft was probably not an upgraded aircraft. The aircraft life was this is the second point. The aircraft life was about 25 years from the time of induction, and these aircraft were inducted between say 84 and 91. So you can calculate from that they are towards the fag end of their life, and all the non-upgraded aircraft are probably working on life extension.
Now, most of the accidents in the last 10 years have either involved the MiG-21, the AN-32 or the Sukhoi Su-30. Most of these planes are well past their retirement age. Now, here's something else you must know. The AN-32 is not a fighter aircraft. It is a transport plane. Now, though it has had a steady track record, India has seen at least 4 crashes of the AN-32.